At breaking of dawn, Rick speaks to Morgan, hoping he hears him, and tells him to stay away from Atlanta and gives him their location. Andrea staring at her deceased sister. The men destroy the brains and burn the bodies. When Rick wants to tell her about Amy turning, she points a gun at him and he leaves her, but Daryl isn't happy about it. Glenn tells the guys that they don't burn their own. Daryl is still furious and says that they left his brother to die. They had it coming. Jim is bleeding, so Jackie tells everyone that he got bitten. He picks up a shovel, but T-Dog grabs him and they see the bite mark. Daryl wants to kill him. Dale seemingly agrees, but Rick says that he's not a rabid dog to be put down. Rick wonders if the CDC is still active to get Jim cured. Shane says it's 100 miles from them, but Daryl wants to kill Jim, so Rick stops him. Dale insists with Andrea and tells her that after his wife died, she and Amy were the first people he cared anything for. Andrea then packs her gift for Amy and wraps it around her neck. As Daryl wants to strike Ed's head, Carol says she'll do it herself and then goes at it. Andrea then hears Amy breathing and she begins to move. Her eyes open and Andrea keeps staring and then apologizes. As she gets up, Andrea says she's here for her and then shoots her. Shane blames Rick for everything when he took off for the guns. Daryl wants to burn the people, but Lori says that they need to keep their humanity. Jim is experiencing fever and sees horrible visions. Andrea buries Amy. Rick asks Lori if she also blames him. She says they both have a point, but she's uncertain about the CDC. Jim's fever is getting worse. He asks Rick if he has prepared a grave for him. Rick says that he'll get him help if God allows it. Jim tells Rick to watch the mangroves. He needs to watch the boat. Shane tells Lori to oppose Rick's idea of going to the CDC, but she doesn't oppose it. Shane then tells Rick to go for a sweep. As they talk about the subject, Rick tells him he'd feel different, it was his family. He gets mad and says they took care of them like his own. They then hear a noise and check it out, but Shane then aims at Rick and feels like shooting. However, Dale sees him and he's shocked, but Shane pretends he didn't know it was Rick. Shane then tells the group that he'll agree with Rick's plan. Rick tells Morgan that they're leaving for the CDC in Atlanta. As they're about to depart, Morales says that they won't join. They have family in Birmingham. Rick hands him a gun with bullets. They say goodbye to everyone and then leave. The group then departs and a note is left behind for Morgan. They go with 3 vehicles. They are uncertain about where they are headed and the road is dangerous. Jim is extremely ill. The RV then breaks down. Jackie says that Jim's doing very bad. Jim says that the travel is hurting his body. He tells them to leave him here. He wants to join his family. Rick tells him that he's delirious, but he says that at this very moment he's thinking clearly and knows what he's asking for. It is his decision. Dale then states that he wanted earlier to tell them that they should go with Jim's decision. Shane doesn't feel well with it. They then put Jim under a tree. He says the breeze feels nice. Jackie tells him to close his eyes and then gives him a kiss in tears. When Rick asks him if he wants a gun, he tells him to keep it. Dale thanks Jim, and the group then departs after their farewell. Jim looks towards the sky, and the group leaves as he breathes his final moments beneath the tree. We then see a message from a doctor who says that it's day 194 since Wildfire was declared and day 63 since the disease abruptly went global. He has no clinical progress. His only fresh sample got accidentally destroyed. He then wonders if anyone will even hear his messages, so he intends to commit suicide. In the evening, the group then arrives outside of the CDC and finds many corpses. They quietly pass the corpses, nearing the building. Dr. Jenner then hears some alarm and sees the group coming on camera. They knock on the doors. T-Dog says there's no one here. Daryl then takes out a walker and says that Rick led them to a graveyard. Shane says they should go to Fort Benning right now. They're all panicking and want to leave, but Rick sees the camera move. Jenner wants them to go away. Rick says they're desperate. Lori tries to stop him, but he continues screaming that he's killing them. Just then, the doors open.